Dash wasn't delivering for DoorDash. He was eating the DoorDash before he delivered it. That was 2022. When I was looking at an event from 2023 and I saw how heavy I looked in a suit, kind of fit kind of tight, I looked at that and go, is that really the Dash Gordon persona that I portray? Do I need to look like that? Or do I need to look like this? Because I got to be around a while. So when I saw that, I think that was the turning point. When I saw the Taco Bell picture, of course, but then when I saw how I looked in a suit, I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. And then February 6th of 2023, the Dash Gordon Foundation was formed, and we became a non-for-profit on the 16th of February, and we've moved forward ever since. So what we do now is we've simplified it. Well, we stimulate and build awareness in the special needs and disabilities community, but what we do is we give them a megaphone voice bigger than they've ever had before. It really is huge. But I showcase their talent all over the world. I want people to see that these unique individuals that were put here on this earth to teach us how to love and how to get through life and how to enjoy life and be happy, they need to be uplifted. They need to be put in the forefront, not behind us. We need to see them. They don't need to see us. And so the more they're in front of us, the better we're going to feel because we see everything that they bring to the table. And that just is fulfilling for all of us who are part of their lives now. So that's kind of what we do now.
Start the episode, we always ask everyone what they had for breakfast this morning.
What I had for breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast, Mr. Dash?
So I had the pizza crust from my wife's lunch. And that's really true.
Dude, that's amazing.
That's exactly what I had.
Bro, can we trade lives?
Wait.
That's what she left me. She's like, I got breakfast for you. It's the pizza crust from my lunch. I'm like, let's go.
What kind of pizza?
She gets like this thing from Marco's. It's got like 12 different kinds of pepperonis. The magnificent pepperoni pizza.
Did it have any like leftover on the crust, or
it was just the crust?
Oh,
it didn't even have sauce. I mean, it was kind of jacked up. I was like, really? I mean, Ollie gets a piece of the real.
Dude, I hear you talk about all this crazy stuff you do for your wife and stuff all the time, and this is how she treats you.
Yeah,
she gives you pizza crust.
She's like, here's a piece of crust. I was like, wow, man. Thanks.
She's great.
Thanks. Why didn't you wait till Father's Day? Yeah, it's so much better.
Yeah, I didn't know my birthday came twice a year. This is crazy.
Yeah, this is great. Oh,
well, she does that though. I mean, she buys things for me that don't make. I bought you something. I'm like, what did you buy? And she'll hand me like a lock. And I'm like, what's that for? For you to put on the door. I thought you bought me something.
Sweet.
Yeah, she does it all the time. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's so
always
great.
hooking it up, man.
Yes,
always
so
hooking it
good.
up. What about you, Phil? What'd you have for breakfast?
So one of our trainers is out this week, so I'm covering. So I squeezed in a meal prep for breakfast this morning, which was really good, actually. It sounds simple. It sounds like not much, but Denver can whip up some meal prep. I'm telling you, like nobody's business. And it's just it's chicken, rice, but she grilled some veggies. So it had like big chunks of onion in there, broccoli.
Ooh, okay,
kind of like mixed
This
in there.
is breakfast?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really good. And then an apple.
Fantastic.
That's breakfast and an
That
apple.
was breakfast and an apple.
Nice.
I like to have a little sweet something, when I eat.
Nice. Dude, that sounds so good.
What about you, Sean?
Just
Yeah, it was great.
But, man, it's just vastly different array of
Pizza
breakfasts
crust to like
Yeah.
rice and meat. Yeah.
This guy's judging my breakfast when he had pizza crust.
Pizza crust to like
All by
5-star. Like, no, I had a pretty simple one. I just went to. I gotta go grab some groceries, so I went to McDonald's this morning and grabbed a sausage biscuit, hash brown, and a coffee.
Did you know McDonald's scratched their egg white delight from the menu?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that on there in like forever.
Yeah, that's what I used to always get if I was in a rush for breakfast.
Okay.
I would get an egg white delight. They no longer have it.
Do you guys remember? We'll go. Not to give McDonald's too much credit, right? This little hole in the wall McDonald's. But do y'all remember when McDonald's had the shaking salad thing to go? It was
a
little salad
I do remember
cup.
that. Yeah,
Dude, that was such a good idea. Why hasn't
was a good
anyone
idea.
stole that? Like, you remember that, Phil?
No, I don't.
So they would give you a cup, and it was just like the clear water cup full of salad stuff, and then you get the dressing of your choice.
Yeah.
You put your top on it, you shake it up, and you would eat it, and it would promote you like eating your salad like in your
Wow.
to go.
That was a cool concept.
That is
Yes.
a good concept.
It was a good concept, but yeah,
A to-go salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see something like that being like big though. Like if a company like really dove into that and they're like, all right, we're gonna put like some like grilled chicken in here or something. And
I
really
feel like they've kind of like tried all that stuff before. I mean,
Yeah.
now you have like, what is it, Salata, where you get
Salad
a salad
and
that's
go.
like $75.
Yeah, I was just about to say, one time I refused to go to Salata now because one time
Salata is very
Denver
expensive.
and I went to Salata
Yeah.
for lunch one time, and we got salads, and I'm not exaggerating. It was like $77.
Yeah. I got the romaine lettuce with some croutons and like, $22.95.
I was like, what is going on?
Salata is expensive for sure.
This was crazy. But anyways, so yeah, let's, have you had anything else other than pizza crust today?
No, I haven't.
No?
That's it, just the pizza crust.
Okay.
Just the pizza. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I had 2 tropical Mentos.
Running lead.
I had to get my fruit serving.
I'm not, man, I really wanted to discuss like your weight loss and everything you've been through. But
Well, we could. I mean, based on just eating pizza crust, I'm sure you can lose a lot of weight.
if that's all you had.
Yeah, I'm in a calorie deficit.
Steady diet of pizza crust and Mentos.
There's a lot of things I want to talk to you about today, but that's one of them because you've been through a lot, dude. I mean, I feel like I don't know everything about you, but we've had some good conversations.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that Denver, you've talked to her a lot more than you and I have talked. But hopefully today, this is my chance to get to know maybe a little bit more. And I know, I know surface level of this guy that we call Dash Gordon, but I don't know all the details. So that's what I'm hoping today. I wanted to talk about obviously the foundation, how it started. I definitely do want to discuss the weight loss that you went through. You're working out here now, going on a little over a month now, or how long is it?
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6
okay.
weeks, yeah.
So I'd like to talk about how you're feeling about that.
Okay.
A little bit of everything because I saw a picture of you. I want to say it was at a Taco Bell.
It was.
Is that right? Okay, yeah. So it's at a Taco Bell, and someone like giving you a meal or an award, or they're handing you something, and you're there in the Flash costume.
I was. Yeah.
And let's just say you look a little different.
Way different
than you do now.
Way different. That's probably 51 pounds
50
ago.
pounds? Okay.
Probably, 51 pounds ago. Yeah.
So if you don't mind, tell us about what led to. Were you always overweight?
No.
As an adult, or just tell us how we got to that point, and then we'll transition into where you're at now.
Well, I mean, first I got married. No, that's just, that starts your journey right there.
Yeah.
No, I think what happens is you get comfortable with life. And I think you forget about what your body needs and what you need to do to sustain daily. And so you eat this and you eat that and you find yourself drinking this and drinking that. And it's not good for you. I mean, the world has a lot of that bad stuff for you. And you just get into a mode of, I wouldn't call it laziness. I think you just kind of get into, I don't know, husband, dad bod mode, whatever you want to call it. And all of a sudden you see yourself starting to grow, your waistline's growing, your clothes fit differently, but you kind of go with it for a while. It just, you're kind of like, okay, I'm comfortable with it. I'm comfortable with it until somebody says, wow, man, you kind of look plump. And I'm like, wow, what a word.
Is that the word that they use to describe you?
I'm like plump. And that's, and so.
A little old school one right there. Plump.
Yeah. I mean, you still kind of go with it, but I think eventually you look in the mirror and you're like, wow, man, this doesn't look good. And then I look at a picture, 15, 18 years ago when I was in my early 30s, and I was like, whoa, I was in some pretty great shape. But I had also taken a weight loss journey then. I was over 70 pounds overweight and got real serious about getting back down and put myself into probably the best shape I'd ever been in my life.
And so you were overweight through your 20s?
I was overweight, in my late 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just, I think as a society, we all know, the U.S. is one of the most unhealthy. We have all the fast food restaurants and everything else. And so your life, we say their busy lives are busy lives, but a lot of our busy part of our life, we're sitting and we're eating this and we're eating that, we're eating this, and staying mobile is key. And so, just getting out there and walking and running is not going to put your body to where maybe you want your body to look or be. And I'm not really interested in having to do something medically to make it perfect and all this kind of stuff. I said, hey, you know what? I got to get back into the gym. I got to start working out. I got to start putting some time into what I expect later on down the road. So, I want to live a long time and I need my body to be healthy as well. I don't have to have a six pack, but people need to see me and go, you know what? That guy looks like he takes care of himself.
Right. And if you don't mind, how old are you now?
60.
This guy's 60 years old.
60.
And you lost 50 pounds how long ago?
Oh, wow. That's probably this whole, and which is good about it, why I haven't gained it back, is it's been probably a little over a year.
Wow. Okay, so that picture that I saw,
That
You
picture
know which
was
picture
from
I'm talking
20 that
about.
picture-
What year was that?
Oh, yeah, that looked like Dash wasn't delivering for DoorDash. He was eating the DoorDash before he delivered it. So yeah, that was 2022.
Oh, wow.
But I still didn't take losing weight or getting my body. You know what? When I was looking at a recent event, not a recent event, but an event from 2023, and I saw how heavy I looked in a suit, and the suit kind of fit kind of tight. I looked at that and go, is that really the Dash Gordon persona that I portray? Do I need to look like that? Or do I need to look like this? Because I got to be around a while. So when I saw that, I think that was the turning point. When I saw the Taco Bell picture, of course, but then when I saw how I looked in a suit, I was like, yeah, this is not going to work. Now it's time to make some changes, eating habits, and eating less of this and eating more of this.
So you're 57 years old
57, yeah.
when that happened?
Yes.
Okay. And when you say you saw yourself in a suit, we're not talking about a 3-piece suit.
No, I was like wearing suit coat, a nice suit. Not,
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought you were
no.
talking about.
Well,
the-
yeah, I mean the spandex. We don't even talk about the spandex suit because that really looked
That's
ridiculous.
what I thought you were talking
yeah,
about.
that's what I thought you did.
That just didn't even look right. So I mean, and now when I look at that picture, I can't even believe I was out there doing that.
Right.
But I didn't see myself like that. You know, you don't. Sometimes you don't see yourself heavy. You know, you think you look okay, and your wife is, just always saying, "Oh, you're so handsome," and everything. You know, and,
Well, she's still right about that part.
well, I appreciate that, but but she says things like, "Oh man, you look so much better since you've lost weight." I'm like, but you told me when I had weight on me, I looked really good too.
Yeah, so sometimes you just need a little honesty in your life.
You do. And I'm like, really, Natalie, I know you've never lied in your life, but you have been lying. So I mean, let's be real about this. But I think you get to a point, and not everybody does, but you have a breakthrough and you realize that it's time is now, and I can't worry about the past. I can't worry about yesterday. I have to move forward. And the only way I'm going to do, I'm going to have to push myself to limits probably I've never pushed myself before. And that means eating things maybe I don't like and taking things away that I wish I could still have. But I think once you make those adjustments and it becomes a way of life, then everything else becomes a little bit easier.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I want to ask you some detailed questions about how we lost 51 pounds.
Yeah.
But before we do that, you mentioned like the Dash Gordon persona, right?
Yeah.
So can you just tell us who Dash Gordon is,
Okay.
how it started, where you come from, things
Yeah,
like that,
so,
and then we can talk about like the specifics of the weight loss.
I'm a corporate trainer by day.
When you say trainer, what do you
Like
mean?
I train, like the company that I work for, I train them on a process that they, that they use, or that each place that I train uses internally, and it's a really cool gig. But we had a health scare in the family in 2021. And so because of that, I decided I wanted to take my wife on a big vacation. So I started door dashing. And my challenge with door dashing is being in the car business as long as I was before I started the job I have now, is people wouldn't come to the door, drop the food off at the door. And this is all right after COVID. I'm like we're already locked up enough, but I'm not interacting with anybody. I'm just dropping the food off at the door, and then I leave and I see them open the door and wave or whatever else. I said, I've got to come up with a way to make these people engage with me. So I'm just sitting in my office and I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. So I walked into my wife. She was laying in bed. I said, I need you to buy this costume. And she said, it's not even Halloween. It's like February. I'm like, I know, right? But I want you to buy this costume. She said, for what? I said, I'm going to DoorDash like this. She said, you got to be kidding me. I'm never going with you. And I said, well, no, I need you to be my ride or die, but you can lay the seat down so no one can see you. And she said, okay. So what I did was I got real strategic with it. I started a Facebook page. I wasn't Dash Gordon yet. I started a YouTube page. I got an Instagram. I built a TikTok. And then I said, all right, let me promote pictures of this costume, the Flash, and it's coming soon. Get ready. And I don't know what the city was thinking was going to happen. Well, the costume came in, and I hung it up, and I made this video with AC/DC in the background and said, all right, let's go. I put it on, man, and I got out there the first night, and it was like bedlam. Every restaurant I walked into or wherever I went to pick up food, they were freaking out. They're like, oh my God, we take pictures with you and stuff. I'm like, I'm Dash Gordon. And then look, I'm overweight, but I'm feeling like I'm Dash Gordon.
How'd you come up with the name? Because you were in a Flash costume. So how'd you come up with Dash?
Well,
Dash
DoorDash,
Gordon.
and Jeff Gordon is a fast race car driver. Dash Gordon. So I said, and my wife even put, the name Dash Gordon on, and I modified it a little bit. I mean, I should have known. The belt was, but the belt's below my waist. It's not fit me real well. I probably shouldn't be wearing this. I'm probably scaring everybody. But it was just, the city was going crazy over, and this is all after COVID. And I said, wow, I'm really onto something here. And what I love most about it is if I'd pull up to a light and somebody would be right next to me, they would look over and they'd smile at me like, what is that? And so for that moment, with all the craziness that's going on in the world, I was able to take their mind off of that just for whether it was 30 seconds or a minute or whatever else, a good thing. Well, then I'm sitting in my office and this little thing pops up on Talk of League City. And this young lady is saying, look, I need some help. I'm a single mom raising a 2-year-old. I live in government housing. I'm struggling. So I just typed in there. Everybody's telling her, go to the Salvation Army, do this, do that. I said, Dash Gordon to the rescue. That's all I post. And so then I messaged her and I said, hey, call me back. And she ended up, I gave her my number. She called me. I said, what do you need? Just diapers, wipes. She could have taken advantage of me. I mean, I would have done anything at that point. I said, okay. I put the costume on and I went knocking on doors and I'm like, hi, I'm Dash Gordon. They're like, you live across the street. You're Tim Glover. Why are you wearing this costume? I'm like, because I'm Dash Gordon and I'm trying to raise money for this girl. And they're like, okay. So I raised money. I put the costume on. Well, I had the costume on. I went to the store and I bought her diapers and wipes and everything she needed to get her through the next couple of weeks. Well, the city of League City got wind of it. And when they did, they said, we want to do a documentary about this guy going around the city in this costume doing, good deeds. I said, okay. So they rode around with me for a couple of days and they filmed it all. And what's really cool about it is for League City, the video that they put together won video of the year at the Savvy Awards in Washington. I was like, this is like pretty dope.
And what exactly are the Savvy Awards?
The Savvy Awards, they take all of the local communities like League City and Galveston and the whoever does the news for League City, their videographer and their photographer and stuff like that, they put videos together of different things, something about a council member or something that, they did at the Humane Society. Well, they did this video of Dash Gordon and it got video of the year. And so
this is a big deal.
It was a really big deal for the city. And
that's why I didn't even know that was a thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was. So, and people go, to these Savvy Awards in Washington. Well, once that video got out there, it ends up going viral. Well, then all these organizations start reaching out to me like, can you put the costume on? Can you come make people laugh over here, make them happy over here? Domestic violence, anti-human trafficking, special needs, foster children, waste management. I mean, it was just craziest stuff ever. I was like, sure. So I'd put the costume on and I'd meet and people would smile and it was a really big deal. Well, then the news stations got wind of it. Well, once that happened, Fox and KHOU and ABC and the Michael Berry Show, Cosplay in America, the Houston Chronicle. I mean, the list goes on and on. So it's kind of growing at that point. I'm getting all of this. People are seeing me. They're waving. They want to take pictures. They're having me pull over to take pictures with me. And then I'm sitting in my office in November and I see special needs kids in a gym, dancing, eating pizza, having some kind of event, which I had no connection with. I said, what can I create that's different than this? And Natalie says, do a winter formal. I said, oh, it's 4 weeks before Christmas. I don't think I can make that happen. She said, you're Dash Gordon. You can do anything. I was like, oh man, now this is
supercharged.
Now I'm feeling strong.
Yeah.
Supercharged.
So I called this local venue, Kima Gardens, and Miss Syria Rybicki, the owner, said, I'll donate it to you. I said, okay. And then all of the people that did the decorations and the food donated everything. So I created this incredible experience for a little over 200 special needs individuals and their families. It was a smash hit. One of the local banks saw it because I-45 filmed it, put it out there, and they said, hey, we want to help you get a 501c3 non-for-profit. I said, okay. They said, build a website, and then we'll take care of everything else. So we did. We built a website. It was a cool website, which I thought was cool at the beginning. It was very whimsical and kind of dark. And then February 6th of 2023, the Dash Gordon Foundation was formed, and we became a non-for-profit on the 16th of February. And we've moved forward ever since. And it's so what we do now is we've simplified it. Well, we stimulate and build awareness in the special needs and disabilities community. But what we do is we give them a megaphone voice bigger than they've ever had before. It really is huge. But I showcase their talent all over the world. I want people to see that these unique individuals that were put here on this earth to teach us how to love and how to get through life and how to enjoy life and be happy. They need to be uplifted. They need to be put in the forefront, not behind us. We need to see them. They don't need to see us. And so the more they're in front of us, the better we're going to feel because we see everything that they bring to the table. And that just is fulfilling for all of us who are part of their lives now. So that's kind of what we do now.
Wow. I have a lot of questions, but you saying that, I want to tell a story real quick. That is 100%. I had never thought about this. But what you just said reminds me of a couple of months ago, something that happened to me that made me realize the same thing. I was at the grocery store right around the corner from here, and I'm walking out, and there's an altercation going on between two two women and a guy, probably like mid-20s. And they were just arguing with each other, yelling at each other in the parking lot, like kind of, you know what I mean? Like looking like they're about to all fight each other and they're all going at it. And, obviously like you can't just like sit back. I mean, I'm just watching. Like I hate that I'm so interested in it, to be honest. I hate that, but that is the case. And they're like, yelling at each other, cussing each other out. You can definitely tell like one of the employees is like coming out to try to see what's going on. And this particular grocery store hires special needs people, kids. I don't know how old he was. He's probably maybe, I call him a kid. He's probably in his 20s, maybe, special needs. And there's a lady this lady, praise to her, was ignoring the situation. And he just goes up to her and he says, "Hey, ma'am, can I give you a hug?" And she's just like, so 20 feet away.
Right.
There is a fist fight. Maybe there's a gun. I don't know.
Sure.
Going on. And then he's just like, "Ma'am, can I give you a hug?"
Yeah.
And it was like,
that's great.
I mean, I'm getting chills right now thinking about it.
That's the norm.
And he did, "Can I give you a hug?"
Yeah.
And the lady was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
And they hugged each other. And then the fight, they didn't end up fighting, luckily, thank God. But, and then they broke up and left or whatever. And then I was just driving home and I was like, that was the craziest experience that I might have ever had.
Yeah. Sure.
It was just so wild. But there's this hatred right here and 20 feet away. I'm just free hugs.
Yeah, just free hugs, yeah. And that's the whole thing with that community is they get up every morning and they just know how to enjoy life. Mm-hmm. They're not jaded by what's on television. They don't care what's in the news. They don't care what's going on over here, what's going over there. They're like, "Hey, I just want to hug you. I want to make you smile. I want to make you laugh. I want to dance with you. Let's have fun." And then the next day, they just want to do it again. And it's every single day. I mean, who doesn't want a life like that? Mm-hmm. I mean, I would love to just live that type of life.
Right, yeah.
Or I just enjoy it. And I think that's, I think when you deal with the special needs community and you realize they're here to teach us a lot of lessons, man. They're here to teach us a lot of humility and a lot of compassion and how to love other people for whomever they are, whether how they look or how they act. Everybody's different, and you find a way to adjust. And there's no community better to work with than these unique individuals because they bring it all full circle. I mean, there's just between autism and Down syndrome and cerebral palsy. I mean, you get to see it all. Mm-hmm. So you're going to see everything that you need to see and realize that, wow, my life can only be better by hanging out with these folks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, and you've been at one of my events. I mean, it's incredible. It was crazy how electric it was. Mm-hmm. I mean, the room was just electric when you were at Night to Shine. And a lot of people just don't realize that they're nervous about.
Right. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I'll tell you, I remember the first one I went to, Denver asked if I wanted to volunteer. And I was like, well, I mean, what do I need to do? Like, do I need to hand out food? Like, what do I need to pour drinks? And she's like, "No, we're called buddies."
Yeah.
And and she told me the responsibilities, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, dude, I was a little nervous. Sure. She was like, "Yeah, he'll have a necklace on. Mm-hmm. It's gonna say what's going on. You'll meet the parents. The goal of this particular event, and we can talk about the event if you want, but the goal of this particular event was to give independent time to them, and the parents left.
Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. And so the Garrett was incredible, who I hung out with all night. He's like my responsibility for the night. And so I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous.
Well, and here's the thing.
It ended up being great.
And here's the thing with Garrett. Garrett's nonverbal. I mean, Garrett's, he makes noises, but he's such a loving guy. And the thing with Garrett, you got to learn some type of signing because he's really good at signing, saying thank you and all this kind of stuff. But he is an electric individual, even though he doesn't speak.
Yeah, he showed me some dance moves. We got out there.
I love that guy.
Yeah,
he's one of my. Great. They're all my favorites, but he's one of my favorites. I mean, he stands out. I mean, I know this sounds crazy to say that about Garrett, but he even does karaoke. He's non-verbally does karaoke. But he gets up there and he does it, man. And he plays this song, and it's an old school 80s rock band. And he does it, and everybody cheers for him, but he's part of it.
It's crazy how people are so scared. I have like a group of friends that are the scaredest dudes ever to do karaoke, and to hear that someone's nonverbal special needs doing karaoke is insane.
Well, you know what, Sean? Here's the cool thing about that is I have a family that had a daughter named Rosie, and Rosie's nonverbal. And the cool thing about Rosie is she's great with music. I mean, just unbelievable with music. She can listen to a song, break out her ukulele, get on the piano, just play it. I mean, these kids are savants. I call them kids too. They're young adults, older adults, but they're savants. They do things. They just do things so extraordinary. They've been dealt a disability, but they've got an extraordinary, superhuman thing that they've been given that is just, most of us can't even imagine even trying it. And when I talked to Rosie's parents, I said, well, she's nonverbal, but we kind of figured out, how do we break through with her? She loves music. So for all these years, we're not speaking. All of a sudden they said, what if we sing to her what we need her to do? So they just start singing and she starts singing back, and they're like, wow, we're communicating through song. So now the house is just, just a big sound of music, and everybody's, the brothers are singing, the mom is, everybody's just singing. So you just have to find, certain, you got to, sometimes you got to dig a little bit, to understand. I've had people tell me all the time, how do you communicate with them? Well, first of all, who is them? Okay.
Right.
I mean, how do I communicate with you? I talk to you just like you talk to them. Well, I can't understand them. Well, you need to listen a little bit better. Maybe you got to piece it together to get the point of the story. Maybe you have to tell them to slow down a little bit. So, but you just communicate exactly the same. You'll be able to piece it together and figure it out. But they're no different than any of us. Yes, I know there's some physical differences, but you start to look past that once you get to know them because they're such beautiful people.
Have you always known about this stuff, or is this pretty new for you too?
I mean,
or like, have you always thought of the special needs community in this way?
No, I was scared of them just like anybody else.
Okay. Yeah.
But something happened, and I realized this was my place. This was ours. This is where I'm supposed to be.
I get. That leads to my question that I want to lead into is, you said you had all these different communities or foundations kind of reaching out to you. If you said human trafficking, you mentioned domestic violence, like why the special needs route?
Because just like veterans, the special needs community is considered, it's under the carpet. It really is. It's considered second or third best. Domestic violence is really prevalent. There's lots of help for that. A lot of organizations helping with that. Anti-human trafficking, I mean, my gosh, Tim Tebow's out there. The Sound of Silence movie was out. I mean, there's just so much going on with that. There's a lot of awareness for that. But the special needs community is put on the back burner because people don't feel that they can be up to par with everybody else. And it's so untrue. They can do everything that you and I can do, maybe just a little bit differently, but they can pretty much achieve the same goals that we set out to do. They may not get the results that we get, but they're going to get results as well. They just want to be part of the community. They don't want to be put on the side and people look at them differently. And the families don't want that either. If you talk to any of those families that have a special needs child or a child with a disability, I'll tell you, I would never change it. It's been the biggest thing and biggest thing. It's changed my life to have a daughter with Down syndrome or a son with cerebral palsy or a son with autism or IDD or whatever else is out there. It's changed their lives. It's changed their family's life. It's changed their outlook on so much. And it's incredible. I mean, so I gravitated more towards that one because I felt that's where the Dash Gordon Foundation could make the biggest impact, would be with that group. So that's why we kind of honed in on that.
And what exactly does the foundation do for this group of people at this point?
So there's a lot of organizations out there from a sports related, Special Olympics. You've got the Christina Sullivan Foundation also promotes a lot of sporting event type things. I kind of said to myself, I want to not be in that circuit. What I want to do is, how do I create a social environment where these young adults and older adults can get together and make new friends and socialize, communicate, and all that other kind of stuff. So what I do is I create massive events, dances, which are huge. We have hoedowns and we have the Aloha dance, and we do prom. We do so many different things. And then karaoke nights where we bring 50 or 60 of the young adults and older adults out. Let them sing karaoke in front of everybody. It's not just an event tailored to special. I mean, anybody can sing, but they kind of take over the microphone because it's kind of wild. And then I created the first ever Heroes Market. It's called the Dash Gordon Heroes Market. I have 51 special needs and disability vendors, and they're showcasing to the world their drawings, their paintings, their baked goods, their jewelry, all the stuff that they make that anybody else can do at any other market that we go to. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's been the most incredible. It's been the best 3 years of my entire existence of living on this earth, from 57 to 60. Who would have thought that these last 3 years would be kind of like the gold medal round for me? I mean, that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I've tapped into the best part of my life.
Yeah, if you don't mind, let's go back to, you went to the restaurants, you were in the suit, everybody's loving it. Foundations start reaching out to you. What's going on in your life? You've had you have a full-time job, you have life, you have a family.
I do.
How are you handling this type of stuff?
I think initially when I started it was very self-serving. I was doing TikTok videos and being funny, and I really thought I'm going to become TikTok famous because of this. And then it's taken a not so humble, compassionate person, and it's changed how I have it. My outlook on life is so much different. I have a lot more compassion for people. I realized, and not to put any type of religion on it, or religious spin on it, but I realized that if I make this about myself, it'll never last. It'll immediately go away. So if I make it about everybody that I serve and support, it's going to be around a long time. And Rita Garcia from ABC said, "When does it end, Dash?" And I said, "Well, it'll end when the community doesn't need me anymore." And she goes, "Well, then you're going to be around a long time. And then it'll end if I make it about myself." So all of my social media, with the exception of every now and then, focuses on the individuals that I serve. And I just showcase their talent, all over. But yeah, I work a full-time job. I got 8 kids. I got 9 grandkids. And I've been able to find a pretty good balance, and work it out. All my kids are grown. They hated the Dash Gordon thing. They thought their dad looked really stupid.
Really? I figured they would have loved it.
No, they were embarrassed. They were like, what are you doing right now? You're 57 and you're running around in a leotard, Dad. I mean, it doesn't even look good. And so I got it. But, they recently all came together, and they came to one of my events in Louisiana, and they saw what I did. And it changed how they felt about me. They were like, "Whoa, we had no idea what you were doing." And now that we see, we're like, "Wow, we want to be part of this." Now they want to be part of it. Now they're not as ashamed of it anymore. It's not just some guy running around in a costume.
That's the startup process of
that was all it was.
Almost anything.
Yeah. The costumes are retired. I don't even wear them anymore. I mean, they're just put away.
Okay.
And really, because I'm on, 65 million searches on the internet for Dash Gordon, because of that relevance, the second costume that I wore was an actual Cosplay in America made that costume for me. That was a season 6 Barry Allen Flash costume.
Wow.
That was like the movie set one.
Dang.
So unless I modify it, I can't wear it anymore anyway. I don't want Marvel coming down on me and saying,
dude, I would imagine that you just have like a bat cave just full of all these glass, like
Sean,
mannequins of your old
it just
you got to bring on like a protege now,
the
man.
second costume was cool because it was movie grade, and it was movie set ready, and with the boots, and I mean it was incredibly cool to wear that. I have put it on since I've lost weight. It looks stunningly much better. So but I don't wear it out anymore. I mean, it's fun to kind of look back at, and they're kind of like relics, and I have never even put on the shoe, my Nike shoe. I've taken it out of the acrylic box to hold it, but I've never put it on my feet. And, people are like, "You should wear it." I'm like, "No,
I don't think so.
I can't wear it, man. I don't want it to get dirty."
Denver got me for, when we first got together, she got me I like shoes a lot. And she got me a pair of shoes custom made with the OTG on them. And she really wants me to wear them more, but I don't like to wear them. I wanted to keep them looking nice and everything,
I'm a shoe guy too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But, if you don't mind, like a little more specific, like how did you handle the influx of, activity?
Yeah,
I guess, like
calling
in your life.
You have work.
How did you handle that?
Sean, I'm resilient, man.
Really, I wouldn't have guessed.
I'm pretty resilient. I feel like there's never a task that's too big. I don't feel like you can ever put too much on me. Like you can just say go, 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 and I'm just gonna go and say, "Hey, what else you got?"
Right.
That's kind of how I roll, and I never felt overwhelmed. I just felt like I got to go. I got to go. And they're like, but you go here and you go there. And I know, right? When do you sleep? When I can. Other than that, I'll keep going. So I didn't, it's not, it didn't make a difference how much was thrown at me.
You just did.
I just did it. I
like it. I love
I
that.
committed and I went. I never really said no. I was like, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Nights,
I'll be there.
weekends were
Didn't
full
care.
of this.
I didn't care.
Because you were working the whole time.
That's right.
And you still work now.
I still work now. Work now. And my nights start after 5:30. The weekends are usually full. I mean, I'm booked up all the way through December. So, you know, I just, it was never too much. It was just never too much. When you know what you're doing is serving a purpose, a real purpose, there's no self-servant at all. You're making other people's lives better. You go. Your motor just ticks at a whole different tune.
You don't even have to try harder or anything. It just happens.
No, you work out all the time, buddy. I mean, if you didn't work out, I mean, you're at a whole different motor. That's why you look the way you do.
Right.
And your wife is the same way. You know, I mean, you guys all work out because your motor, you look at it just ticks, because you know what you're doing to your body is physically good. Well, I know what I'm doing is great for the community that I serve. So I just have to go.
I think it's a great point to think of, like, no matter what is going on in your life and people are asking you a lot of stuff, like, it just is. Do I want to fulfill the potential that I know that I have? Yes or no?
True.
Yes, I do it. No, don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, what type of legacy are you going to leave?
Yeah.
I mean, when your life gets to an end, you say, man, what did I achieve? Well, I'm not even really worried about what I achieve. I just want to know that I did what I was supposed to do at the time when it was most right. And I'm just gonna keep going with it, man, because I never knew it would get here.
Right.
Who knew that it would keep growing to where people would start reaching out of Texas and saying, hey, can you come to North Carolina? How about Massachusetts? What about California? So we're moving, you know, we're going to other places now. So I would have never thought that. Did I really think people would be searching for Dash Gordon and calling me and wanting to just talk to me about whatever? I was like, I did not know all of this, but probably had I known all this was going to happen, I may not have done it. It just all kind of fell into place.
right.
So here we are.
How long did you continue to actually do DoorDash throughout this process?
I did DoorDash for a total of 6 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
And did you get to your goal of taking your wife on vacation?
Within 3 weeks, and then we went to the Bahamas for, I think we went for 10 days. Went to the Bahamas, but I only wore the costume for 5 weeks as a DoorDasher. Yeah.
Dang.
I didn't have to do it very long.
And if you don't mind me asking, when all this stuff, were you getting paid? Like, from these different people who are reaching out to you, the awareness is growing. Was there any income from that?
So know this, Phil, all that I've done, the DJ gigs that I do, everything that I do, here and there, I do get donations to the foundation. No, I never asked for a dime. I've never had these big fundraisers. And one thing, all the events and everything, I don't even charge. Everything is free.
Right.
But no, I didn't. I relied just on DoorDash tips. And the tips were cool. I mean, when you can't, you took a picture of this guy, they'd come to the door, an extra 10, an extra 15, sometimes an extra 50. But yeah, I mean, I just let it be what it was, and it did what it needed to do. And I took my wife on vacation, and she's doing much better. And I think the Dash Gordon Foundation, all that we do is help her, with her life and help her get better as well. So yeah, it's all been good. I'm not looking for anything in return. I only want to give. And if people love what we do, they want to be part of it and give, they can.
Then the organization grows.
Yeah, the organization is growing, but we're not asking.
Yeah, and the reason that I ask, I think it's important to put that out there, because I feel like a lot of people hear about this guy that did this thing and then it started growing. They're like, oh, well, getting paid, it must be easy when you're getting, all the extra, getting paid to do all these things, but that's not the case.
That's not the case at all. Yeah. I don't, we have sponsors sometimes for our bigger events, but no, it's everybody on my team, my vice president, my treasurer, my secretary, my entire board of directors, the health and fitness side with Denver. I mean, everybody's a volunteer, and we know our place. We're volunteering our services and our time to make the community that we serve feel extraordinary.
Right.
We're putting them on the pedestal. They deserve it. They've been put behind the scenes for much too long, and so now they're in the forefront, and we're going to keep them there.
And how long into the Dash Gordon thing did you have that thought of, I need to focus on my body? The physical part, like, was it within those first couple weeks of the costume, or
No.
how did that all come together?
You know, this is only like little over a year old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I knew I needed to be around a long time, and on the current trend I was on, you know, and losing the weight that I've lost over the little over a year, there's no way I could be healthy. I mean, my blood pressure's high. You know, I'm pre-diabetes. I mean, there's all things, and I mean, your body
Was no longer.
No, and your body really is a lot of, you know, health issues are food related. I mean, they really, really are. People don't realize that. They think, oh, well, I eat real good. Well, what do you eat? Well, I eat Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I love that too, but that's not as healthy as you need to be. But I had just like this turn. I said, you know what? I've got to get healthier for me to be able to do what I'm doing for the community. If I don't get my body under control, this isn't going to work. I'm not going to be around a long time. And I don't know how long I got to do this thing for. I mean, is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 20? I don't know. But my body, and then as I started to lose the weight, I started to feel better about myself. It's nice to go wearing an extra large to a large shirt and then almost getting to a medium. I'm close, you know. It's nice to go from a 38 waist down to a 32 or 33. I mean, those are all huge differences. And then when you start to see the impact that making these changes makes on your body, and you feel better, and your blood pressure's lower, and now you're not pre-diabetes anymore, and all your blood sugars and everything, and you're adjusting for all that, you're like, wow, okay, so it's really not as hard as I thought. So then I said, but now I got to get stronger. You know, I got to start working out. I don't have to have a six-pack, but I got to have, you know, I got to breathe better. I got to feel better. I got to feel stronger. You know, I got to have, you know, more stamina, all those different type of things. And so I come to OTG, and, you know, I work with Justin the very, very first time, and I throw up like every day. You know, I mean, it's just like four trainings in a row. I was like, wow, this is, and then only thing you're worried about is, am I going to throw up on the AstroTurf or whatever? Just don't throw up out there. I'm like, buddy, I ran outside. It's okay. I'm not going to throw up on inside. But the first day was tough.
It always is.
And I pushed my body hard that day. And, you know, Justin's real technical, you know, and there's a lot of weird stuff that I'd never done before. And then boom, out in the parking lot, you know, throwing up. I come on Wednesday and I'm working with Justin again. Boom, out in the parking lot throwing up. Friday, out in the parking lot.
It's pretty rare that people
you going to the gym or the bar, man? What's going on? What kind of bar you going to?
But I feel, and I was telling Denver this too, you're just the type of guy, like you said earlier, this is what I need to do. Let's just do it. And I kept telling Justin, hey, Justin, like, we need to make sure that Dash isn't like in the gym killing himself, because I wasn't here, so I don't know what was going on. Like, I would like watch the cameras a little bit and stuff, you know, afterwards and stuff like that, but I wasn't 100% sure. And I was like, hey, we really need to make sure that he's not just coming in here and like forcing himself to get sick and goes to throwing up because he's just like trying to crush it so hard. And he's like, dude, I'm trying, man. He's like, nothing I can do. But you're just like the type of person that says, if I'm going to do this thing, then I just do.
Well, it's cool that when you go to your little, you know, when you go to the iPad and he goes, you know, you hit miles to like a goal.
Well, that's
like,
very motivating.
So
sure.
But then, you know, I knew it wasn't just Justin, because I come the following Monday and of course I get Sarah and Sarah pushes me and I'm thinking like, I'm good. I got out of the gym. I got in my car. I'm driving. And I mean, I didn't get very far. I had to pull over and throw up all over the place. So I'm like, so I've adjusted to that now. Of course, I'm growing and I'm not throwing up. But here's the difference about OTG and other organizations that, you know, promote fitness and things like that. You know, when I wrote it in the review, Justin, Kevin, Ian, Sarah, yourself, Denver, Sean, you have a real genuine concern for the people that you're trying to help feel better and get better. Sure. I've seen the people that come in here to work out. I mean, these are people that are my age or a little bit younger than, you know, maybe a little bit younger, or maybe even a little bit older than me. But your care and concern in helping them make their lives better is what sets this place apart from everybody else. There's trainers out there. Everybody in here is pretty people. You guys have got all good-looking trainers. Everybody's in shape. I've been some places where the trainer's 100 pounds overweight training me. Right. You know, but everything that you say you are, when you get here, is everything that you say you are. It's not lip service. This is what we do at OTG. That's why we're called Only the Greatest. And you put it all out there, man. And that's why I'm such a big promoter of it, because it's genuine. If it was just some brand like a lot of those other gyms that are out there, to me, it wouldn't be worth it. That's not what you guys promote. You guys promote an atmosphere where people get in here, no matter whether they're overweight or what they're trying to do, you're just going to help them get a little bit better every single day.
That's always the goal.
Yeah, that's it.
That is always the goal. And I hope that you feel better. But even before you were coming here, I'm sure you were feeling better just from the weight loss part. Can you share what that process looked like?
I mean, of course you feel better. You're feeling a little bit lighter, everything. Your steps are getting lighter. Everything is getting better. You're moving around. Everything is a little bit more fluid. But still, it's not fulfilling enough until you can really start then taking it next level, getting into a gym.
Like executing something out of it.
Yeah, it's great to lose weight.
Right.
But you've lost weight. Now, what do you do once you lose the weight? Where are you going to take it next? How are you going to sustain it?
That's right.
Because we see people lose a lot of weight and they gain a lot of weight back and they feel like, well, I'll do the carnivore diet and I'm just going to eat, a pack of bacon for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and I'm going to lose weight.
Pretty great.
It does sound great, until, your cholesterol.
It doesn't work long term.
It doesn't work long term. Right. Or they try this fad diet or that fad diet. At the end of the day, you don't have to do a lot of working out. People just have to realize you just need to move.
That's so true.
You just need to move your body. Just get out there, move your arms, walk a little bit. And
people think that this has to be complicated.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really not.
It's not complicated. Just like we talked about earlier. If there's something you want and you have purpose and you feel fulfilled about it, you just do it and it's kind of easy. It's like you just turn it on and you go.
Right.
It's the same thing with this if you actually want it.
Correct. And all of us want something different, but just promoting healthy lifestyle and staying active.
Yeah.
And staying active doesn't mean you got to get in here and power lift and do leg lifts and, the planks, all kind of. Just get out and move around.
Right.
Just, if it's just going to the track and walking with your spouse at your pace and moving your arms, just stay active. And I think that's where people kind of, they think they've got to get into a gym.
Yeah, for sure. It doesn't have to be, this super complex, hard to follow situation. It can be very simple. You show up, you do the work.
Right.
And you go home.
No doubt.
And hopefully you don't throw up on the way.
No. Well, I figured that is the trend. Sarah said you've made a lot of people throw up here. I'm not like the only one. So I don't know if anybody's ever thrown up on the turf, but I wasn't going to do that. I mean, in fact, I got so nervous about where I was throwing up, I went behind the trucks on the other area. So I made sure it was on the grass. Well, I promise you. But it's just when you push your body, and I pushed my body hard. People are like, "Oh, if you're throwing up, that's no, it's not abnormal." I was in the military. I threw up a lot of times when I first got there. So that's not abnormal if you push your body to a limit where it's never been before. You may get a reaction that you never felt before.
Yeah.
And that's completely okay. My body knows when to stop. And there's been times I've worked out with trainers. I'm like, it's said stop, and they're like, "Okay, you're good. Don't do anymore."
Right.
Because you've got some wild exercises that I've never done before. So, I mean, especially that weird deadlift where I don't know what you got to do, but it's just the weirdest.
Well, it's just deadlifts are hard.
It is real hard. I just didn't know you have to.
It's about doing it right.
I think the thing about
it's just abnormal.
Well, people ask me, they're like, "Oh, so when you go there one day you work back and buys, chest and triceps?" I'm like, no. Well, what do you do? Well, you work back and buys and legs and knees and whatever, shoulders, knees and toes, whatever. You work it all. You work it all in 45 minutes. And they're like, all of it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you work it all. It's not they don't isolate one specific thing and you go different days. You work, when you go, you work out, you work legs, you work arms, you work shoulders. And then when you come back on Wednesday, you work legs, you work arms, you work shoulders. And when you do the same thing. And then the next week, the exercises are a little bit different. And the next week, the exercises are a little bit different. And it's always a challenge.
Yeah.
It's always a challenge.
And I was just talking to someone this morning about that. They were asking about why we do full body, which is what you're explaining now, versus like do all legs one day, all chest one day, all back one day. The science tells us that frequency is better.
Sure.
So if you do it more often, so even if you do a whole lot of chest one day, a whole lot of back another day, a whole lot of legs another day, you're going to get better results. The science tells us you will get better results if you do a little chest, a little back, and a little legs all today. And then also on Wednesday, do a little chest, a little back, and a little legs. And then on Friday, a little chest, a little back, a little legs. You're doing the same amount, but you're going to get a better workout and be more effective by spreading it out. And that's how we do it that way. I'm just a trainer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not super smart. I just help people. I'm really good at communicating with people and getting them to do the things they do and motivating them. All I do is take what the doctors and scientists say is best, and I help you fulfill that.
Sure.
and on a daily basis.
Right.
That's it. So that's why we do it that way. And then when people hear that, like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's so
It
different
does.
because that's not what
It's
most
not
places
what's normal
do. Yeah.
because it's simple. People want complicated.
Sure.
Because when it's complicated, I can charge more.
Sure.
And this is just my opinion. I don't know. Like
that makes
that
sense.
is my
That makes
opinion.
sense.
The whole world now is like marketing stuff,
Sure.
which I do a lot of marketing myself. You know,
Sure.
I'm a business owner. It is what it is. But at the same time, what I promote is simplicity, simple, fun, effective. Sean and I talk about it all the time. Simple, fun, effective.
Right.
Even if it's not fun, remember results are fun.
No,
results.
They are,
fun.
and so I think what you also do is you know what everybody's pace is. I mean, I came in here thinking like, all right, they're going to put me on a 60-year-old workout plan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be good to go. And I'm like, I look at Justin, I'm like, so what kind of a plan you got for me? He's like, the plan that we have for everybody else. I'm like, so you don't have one like for my age? And I'm like, I mean, I am 60. And he's like, okay, well, let's go.
That's like such a Justin thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, he was the cool thing. I mean, all of your trainers are so different. They
Yeah,
all have
everyone is
different,
different
they all have-
personalities.
but
I
they're all so good at what they do and
Right.
they understand each client. And I think no matter if you train with Justin and you go to Kevin, you go to Sarah, you go from Sarah, you go to Ian, you go to you go to Denver, wherever. It doesn't matter because you guys understand each client the way
Right.
you're supposed to.
Yeah.
So even though all of you focus or have different personalities, at the end of the day, your focus is on the client and you know what the client needs. You listen to the client and you make it happen. So that's what's so great about this.
We have a
place.
very structured the way you don't see it as a client, you don't see these things, but on the back end, we have a very structured system that allows us to do that. And it allows each person to shine their own personality
Right.
into the session.
I mean, I love to come
because
here
because
and,
you still have the same good workout on the back end.
oh yeah, I love when you come in and Kevin goes, Laura Gardner. I mean, it's just the interaction that you guys have with your clients and to see everybody's smiles on their faces, knowing that the workouts are going to be tough, but everybody's still at the end of the day, they leave with a smile and then they keep showing up means that the right things are happening. So, it's not a situation where I'm paying a monthly fee or a weekly fee or whatever it is, but I'm just not going. I think you get, being in previous gyms, there's a lot of times there's really no motivation beyond your own to push you.
Right.
They just, because really the bigger marketed type, they really don't care about the person that's coming in.
No, I mean, bigger gyms, the reality is like they need people to not show up. The average Planet Fitness has 7,431 people.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
Average. That means there's a lot of places, there's some with less and some with more
Wow.
than that number. There's no way.
Right.
You can't support that many people. They need people to not show up.
And still pay.
And yes,
Wow.
that's right.
Still pay.
But for us, we need you to show up.
Yeah.
It's a different story altogether.
Well, that's what motivates you. But that's the difference, Phil.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what motivates you in Denver and the rest of your team is the people showing up. I mean, you guys are like, let's go. You're not just on the clock. Hope if nobody shows up, I still get paid. It's like really no big deal. You guys are like, man, I want my people to show up. I want them to get here. I want to work with them. I want to watch their lives get better. I want to watch just everything about them change. And I think that's what's cool. I mean, it's just so fun. I mean, it's just been a great place, man. The atmosphere is phenomenal.
I appreciate that feedback, but we're here to talk about you today.
No, I can't help it, man.
We're here to talk about you.
Yeah.
I am curious. What's the dashboard? What's next? I am curious. Like, I want to talk about your fitness part as well as the foundations. Like, what is? You said earlier that you don't need to have a six pack. So like, what when it comes to your health and fitness? What is your outlook? You're 60 now, right? Are you thinking about retirement and just doing the foundation full time? Like, what are your long-term goals, health, fitness-wise? And then obviously I want to talk about the long-term for the foundation as well.
I think, I want to lose about 12 more pounds. It would put me at my goal weight, which would be great. I'd love to get there.
Okay.
So that's definitely achievable. But now when you get to that point, now it's a little bit more elongated. It takes a little bit more time.
It gets exponentially harder to continue the longer it goes.
And I'm like a freak. I mean, I'll get on the scale 7 times a day to see if I've gained a half an ounce. So, I gotta weigh myself. Why are you weighing yourself so much? I just gotta know. Am I gaining weight? The whole time I was in Jacksonville, I was like, can I use your scale? And they're like, it's 8:30 at night. I'm like, I got to see if I've gained a pound. And I didn't, I've maintained, which is good. My goal is just to be healthy. I don't need to look like an Adonis. Of course, I have an amazing wife and I I want to feel good. I just want to feel good. I don't have to look a specific way, but my body, I need to know that my body's got my back.
Okay.
And I think the only way
that.
I know that my body's going to have my back is if I work my body. If that's what makes my body healthy, then that's the way that I've got to approach it. So the more that I can do to have my body have me, I'm going to be just good
Love
to go.
that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it. So I've realized it takes work,
Yeah, it does.
and you're going to miss some days and you're going to miss here and there. But then when I miss it, I miss it. I'm like, gosh, I shouldn't, like being out in Jacksonville and then taking care of some business here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get back in the gym on Monday. I'm like excited, I'm like, I'm going to push it even harder. Maybe I'm going to throw up twice. So let's do it like right after one part of it and then right at the end. But, I don't have a specific goal. I just know that I feel better.
Nothing wrong with that.
I look better and I can just do everything that I need to do going forward better.
Awesome.
And how can I do anything better if I'm not healthy?
Yeah.
I just.
How do you
can't.
support the community? How do you support your staff? How do you set an example for
Right.
these young adults and older adults that
I can't.
Yeah.
So I mean, if those individuals can get out there and go work out and take care of their bodies, I need to take care of mine as well. They set an example for me. I mean, I guess one of the motivating factors is one young man by the name of Warren, who I've seen this amazing transformation, who's lost weight. He has Down syndrome. And he's trying to get his personal trainer's license.
Wow.
I mean, this guy is like,
Cool.
looks amazing, I mean, and he wants to train anywhere he can, and I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
That he's pushed himself to such a point. He hasn't let his disability even get in the way. He's like, I'm going to be a personal trainer, but I'm going to train everybody. I want to just train them all, And so when you see those type of things, you're like, you got to push yourself a little harder than this. Come on, man. You got to make this thing happen. So knowing that I got to be around a while is definitely a motivating factor, but knowing that I just feel better.
Because you're off those meds now, right?
Yeah.
If you're on medication, there's something internally, I don't want to use the word wrong, but like there's an issue.
I've
You no
been
longer
on
have
blood
that
pressure
issue.
meds for 5 years. I just stopped. And then so when I went to the doctor to get all my levels checked, she was like, wow, your blood pressure, it's a little high still. I said, what's a little high? I said, I'm looking at, well, it's 140 over 75. I'm like, but I'm sitting here and my heart rate's 58. And she's like, well, that's true, but 140s, I said, I know, but I'm not even, she goes, how's your blood pressure medicine work? I'm not even taking it.
Wow. Okay.
And she said, okay, why aren't
well,
you
disclaimer, you should always discuss with your doctor these things.
That is true. So, you should. I got off of it because I personally feel like, you know what? It was good for me, and I'm okay. Now, look, if it spikes or something happens and I'm working out and I'm taking, but I still need it. Hey, I get it. I'll take it.
Sure.
But right now she said, hey, you know what? You're doing okay. Just if you feel like you're doing okay, then you're doing okay, but just watch it. And so that's all I can do at this point. But everything else was in line. That's the only medication I was taking anyway.
Awesome.
I'd rather take no meds.
Yes.
Just
that is
zero.
always the goal.
I don't even like to take an aspirin. So if I could completely get off of it and not have to worry about it ever again. But the only way I'm going to do that is by taking better care of my body.
That's right.
That's it.
I love it.
I can't eat Popeyes every day and expect, my blood pressure, it's going to be 120 over.
Yeah,
60.
there's got to be a little bit of sacrifice somewhere.
Food is a hard area
It's
for
tough.
people to
I know.
sacrifice.
Yeah,
it
very
really
tough.
is. You have to cut your portions down, and I've done that with my wife. I mean, we go out to eat, and I'm like,
She only lets you eat crust.
the crust. But I test her, and I'll test her, and I'll be like, we'll go to wherever, and I'll say, what do you want to get? And she's like, well, what do you want? I'm like, whatever you're having, I'm going to split it with you. And so I let her make the decision. She usually does pretty good. So we split. So we split meals.
So one entree.
That's it. One entree in the evening, and even when we're at home, we split. We'll make something that's
It's a good way to portion control.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good way from her to for her one dirtying a lot of dishes and just having to cook for two.
Yeah.
She usually cooks for so many, but I mean, you can she'll make one sandwich and cut it in half. It's really not that big a deal. So you get adjusted to that, and then you start to realize, wow, man, you need food to survive. I get it.
Yes.
But you really don't need that much of it.
No.
That's what's amazing. You think you need all this food, but you don't need that much. You just need good food.
That's right.
And and the little fillers every now, whether it's apples and peanut butter or whatever else. But you just don't need that much of it. We're just accustomed to eating a lot of it and no need for it.
Yeah, it just happens slowly over time. You just eat a little more, a little more, a little more.
And then
Because it
when
gets
you
out
start
of
eating
control.
And then when you start eating less and less and less, Sean, and you start adjusting to it, all of a sudden you can't eat more and more.
Right.
It's so weird how that works.
Yeah, you acclimate.
You do.
You know, just like you've acclimated to working out, so you don't throw up all the time anymore.
And people are like, well, was it really thrown? Oh, no, if you want it, it's behind. It's a nice pile. Just go take a look at it. It's real throw. It's not dry heaves. It was like, woo, it was the full on. So where something you'd see in the movies, but
nice.
It was wild, dude.
So what's next for the foundation? Like what's going on? What are your future plans? What's in the works right now?
Well, we brought on a consulting firm right at the end of the year. Of course, we brought your wife on as our fitness and health professional on the board. We're actively working on a Tough Mudder that we want to put together in October. And also what's great with OTG and partnering with you guys is, Denver is so proactive. She's putting together or has put together a plan for the moms and the dads of, the special needs and disabilities community, because sometimes they forget about themselves. She's going to get them out and get them moving,
right.
Whether it's using resistance bands or light weights or whatever else. But we're setting dates where the families can get out there and start spending some time on themselves. So we're realizing, fitness is and taking better care of yourself, even in that community, is a priority. And what's funny is those kids don't eat bad. A lot of the issues they have are medical, but when we throw an event, the first thing that's gone are the fruit trays and the veggie trays, man. They love fruits and vegetables. We've got another big event in Louisiana. We're going to be back by popular demand. We've got our winter formal that'll be in December. We've got the pageant coming up. We've got an Aloha dance coming up, some karaoke events. But I think now with the awareness that's being built out of Texas, we're starting to focus, and we need to start putting together roadmaps of how to build this in other cities, how to do a Dash Gordon Heroes Market in New York, how to do, and be able to send people the dialogue and the things that they need to put it together with our guidance. Not necessarily we need to be there. Dash may need to fly there, DJ the event, whatever else. But people want to recreate what we've already created. And that's kind of cool. We just haven't put the roadmap together of how that they can do it yet. So we did the event in Louisiana, and it was incredible. And we can't wait to go back in November for the community. And it's going to be double what we had the very first time, which was 280 is what we had participants at that one. So we're expecting probably closer 450 to 500 this next one because, now we're the real deal. People got a dose of it. So it was cool, but the foundation isn't going away. It's only further solidifying and getting stronger. And it's got such tremendous momentum. Nothing's going to slow it down.
I loosely asked you this earlier, but now I'll straightforward ask you, is retirement from your regular job to do the foundation full time, in the works, or what are you?
So my goal,
how are you balancing that?
Man, Phil, as you love what you just opened up a new location because you love what you do. I love what I do. I love working for the company that I work for, and they're incredible. I've made some great friendships, and I want to keep that going for a while. Yes, a goal would be to do the foundation stuff full time because I could make a much more significant impact and be able to get around more. But that's still probably a little ways away until we have somebody that's willing either to invest or fund or whatever else. We're still a little bit of ways away from that. We put on events where it looks like we spent $50,000 and we spent $600. That's because the resources that we have are strong and people are willing to help and give their time and the things that they have to make these events great. So, I don't know. I hope I can do it full time one day, but if I don't and I keep doing it the way I'm doing it, I'm okay with that. Okay. That'd be pretty cool.
5 years from now, let's go 5 years and 10 years. So you're 60.
Yeah.
At 65 and at 70, where do you see yourself, that dream scenario? Dash, yourself, and the foundation, 5 years, 10 years.
Definitely want to, I'd like to be retired at 65 from my regular job. Okay. That's 5 years from now. As far as Dash goes, man, I'm hoping that Dash is doing a lot of traveling throughout the United States and speaking in front of people and creating awareness. Maybe not necessarily has to be an event. Just speaking in front of people and letting people know what they're missing out on with the special needs and disabilities community and the impact that these individuals can have on their lives in a positive way. Nothing negative could ever come from it. It could only be a positive spin on every single one that you meet. I can't get enough of them. You know, I want to be at their graduations, their birthday parties, watching TV, hanging out with them, eating with them, I just constantly, I mean, I'd love it 24/7. So, you know, I think just we as a community have to realize that the reasons that they're here are far beyond what we ever thought they were. And once you get involved with it, you can't get enough of it. It's just, it's like a drug. It's like, where's my special needs friends? I gotta hang out with them. You know? These are my peeps, man, my posse.
They like give you energy.
They do.
You know,
they take you next level, man. They make you feel like you can fly.
Mm-hmm.
They make you feel like you can fly. Yeah. I feel like I can fly a lot of times when I'm with them. Nothing is impossible when I'm with them.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I can relate. I was telling you earlier that first big event that we went to when Denver and I were buddies, and I was buddied up with Garrett, right? And people don't realize this about me because they only know me from here. But I'm very introverted.
I would have never guessed that.
I know. I don't like to go where there's a lot of people. I don't like to be the center of attention when there's a lot of people around and stuff like that. So I'm the guy, if we go somewhere, like I kind of hang out in the side or whatever. But dude, when you go to one of these events with these young adults and older adults you're talking about, that is not possible, dude.
It's not possible.
And so I'm not going to lie, like before that event, I was going through a lot of stress at that time. We were trying to open the new location. We were having a lot of problems. And I was really suffering from just some social anxiety stuff. But going to that event and being in that environment really was like step one to me getting back to myself.
Wow.
And it's because you have no choice when you're in a room full of
these incredible individuals.
Yes.
Because they're not going to let you be that guy sitting against. They're going to grab your hand.
Not possible.
Pull you out on the dance floor.
That's right.
Yeah. And what's so wild about that community is they're not introverts at all.
No.
Not even close, man. They're not all super shy.
No.
It's the most least judge. It's when you're with them in a group setting. How's it feel to be in the most least judgmental
100%
group ever?
Yes, that is the case.
It's the most incredible. It's the most incredible feeling. And I said this at the pageant. I thought I'd have to die and stand before God before I'd ever get to see an angel. I never thought He'd let me work with Him on earth.
Wow.
And it's to work with these incredible human beings. Man, I don't know. I don't even know that there's a word that can express how great they really are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not surprised anymore when they do something special. Mm-hmm. I'm like, of course you can do that. Why wouldn't you be able to do that? Right. Triple somersault with
your own abilities have now been brought to the forefront.
I'm so average compared to them. I'm so average compared to them. They're so spectacular in so many ways. And their disability, I don't know, man, it just further enhances the person that they really are. Sometimes I think they look at us and go, why does he look so weird? You know what I mean? I sometimes feel like what makes us, what makes us so different from them? How are they looking, how do they look at us? Mm-hmm. But here's what's really unique about all of them. They understand what their disability is. They understand they have Down syndrome and they have autism. They know that there's a difference, but they don't let it stand in the way of them achieving anything. They just don't let it stand in the way. And they will. They have great discernment. They can sniff out a fake. They know if you're not genuine.
Really,
they really can.
Wow,
they really can. They can get you quick, and that was a big deal. Earning the trust of the moms and the dads. It was good when you earn the trust, but take it from the parent standpoint. Wait, this guy in a costume just comes out here. He's working with my kids. I mean, this guy was a DoorDasher. What is going on right now?
Yeah.
Where all these other organizations that specialize in the special needs and disabilities community. But this guy came, he's a car salesman. He works with this company. He puts on a costume and now he's working with our kids. This is weird.
Yeah.
This is weird. Mm-hmm. But they don't think like that anymore. Now they're like, how do we work with you, Dash? Mm-hmm. We love working with you. Our kids love you. They think a lot of you. Well, the reason that it works, and I tell all the parents this, I had my board meeting and I said this to the board members because we've got a lot of board members with a special needs child. The reason that this works is because I love your child as much as you do. That's why this works. I'm not here to just create an event. I genuinely love your child. And so I'm part of your family, and I'm going to be part of your family for a very long time. So, you don't have to buy me a Christmas present. It's all good. Well, if you want to, you can. But
Yeah.
I like Nike shoes.
Yeah.
So,
Just letting you know in case. Last question. Speaking of long time, 10 years.
yeah.
10 years from now, you're 70 years old. Dash is 70. Right. I still see you being the same exact person you are now, probably. But I'm just curious, the foundation especially, like what's the dream for?
Well,
for 10 years?
I have a goal at 70.
Okay.
Of course, I hope Dash is still doing his dashing things.
Sure.
But enough people have told me this, and I want to give it a shot. I don't know if it'll be earlier than 70 or 10 years from now, but I think I want to go on the road and do stand-up.
Okay. I like it.
I think that I've got a lot of stories, and I think a lot of them are really funny, and a lot of people think they're funny as well. Of course, we didn't, I couldn't probably say a lot of this stuff on this podcast, but people like, man, you got to do stand-up. So yeah, I'm seriously considering giving it a try. And
yeah, dude, let's put that roadmap together. We retire at 65, then we hit the road.
Yeah,
dude.
man. Are you what's up with your comedic act? Is it working yet?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I hope that I hope I'm traveling a lot with Natalie. I hope we're enjoying. She'll be 72 at that time. I hope we're just enjoying time together and living life and experiencing things that we've never experienced before. I don't want life to get dull. I don't think it will, but I want it to just continue blossoming and every time I want a lot of new stuff to happen when I'm 70.
Sure.
I want to see a lot of things I've never seen before, and I'm going to try to make that a goal. I want to just, the bucket list stuff, let's go. Let's just make it happen.
So you're on the road with your wife, hitting stand-up comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Having fun, traveling, whatever.
Maybe we're doing them at the Elks Lodge. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. Where's the foundation at that point then?
I hope at that point, and even my kids, they're so funny. They're like, so Dad, if something happens to you, who gets the foundation? I'm like, wait, you guys have just become active with it. So we're not
you didn't want anything to do with this.
I'll let you wear the costume.
When I was in a onesie,
I don't know. Do I think it'll last forever? That's a hard one. Is it going to turn into a situation like a Tim Tebow Foundation or something like that? It has the legs to do that.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Tim Tebow has a foundation where he, for the longest, he's the one that creates the Night to Shines, the one that you went at. That's part of Tim Tebow's foundation. Tim Tebow really sheds a light on special needs, community, anti-human trafficking. He and his wife are just phenomenal people, and they really create a lot of awareness in areas that I try to as well, but I'm only in one aspect of it. To the world, so people can kind of see what's really going on. And he grew that foundation, after he was, not in the NFL anymore, and he's done Night to Shines. They do them all over the country. That dance is done on that night all over the United States.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In cities everywhere. So do I hope it gets to that point? I do. I do. I'm unleashing a new look for
And you
Dash
just mean size-wise is what you're saying.
I hope it lasts. I hope when I'm 70, I've got people running it, and I'm still making appearances. I still look okay at 70 years old, and I hope it's still growing. I really do. Who knows? It's 10 years from now. Who knows what could transpire?
Yeah, just 5 years ago, you never even thought that this could be a thing at all.
I've never talked about it.
Right?
I would have never. Who thinks about putting on a costume in DoorDash? No one does.
Yeah.
That's a crazy concept.
Yeah, all I'm saying is 10 years from now, things could majorly change.
Who knows? Yeah. Who knows? So I do. I hope I'm able to travel with my wife, see a lot of new things. I hope it still lasts. I hope the people that I bring on board, maybe it turns into a corporation. Who knows, man?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But where it's at right now is pretty cool, and where it's headed is pretty exciting.
Awesome, man. I love it. Well, is there anything else that you want to say before?
I think the biggest thing is this, man. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. And I think that what you have to do is, from every aspect, you got to take a look at your life, and you got to see where you're at. And if there's some things you're just not happy with, if there's just some things that you feel you haven't achieved or whatever, guess what? Take a chance. Go for it. Just put it all out there. Because if you don't, you'll have you'll look back at your life and say, I wish I did this and I wish I did that. As crazy as anything may seem, guess what? Just put that foot forward and give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You know,
I love
mean?
it.
Just put it out there, man. Just lead by faith and go for it. And then when you look back, you'll have no regrets and say, you know what? I tried it all. I tried it all. So that's it, man. Just, live every day, like you're never going to have tomorrow. And I think because that's the way the community lives. They live every day like there's not going to be tomorrow. Live that same way. Be responsible though. Pay your bills. No, but be responsible, but live every day like there's never going to be a tomorrow. And if you do that, you're going to live a pretty amazing life.
I love it.
Pretty amazing life.
And if people want to learn more about the foundation, just dashgordonfoundation.com.
You can go to dashgordon.com. You can go to you can Google
any
Dash
social
Gordon.
media,
Man,
just Google
TikTok,
it.
Facebook,
It's
Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
65 million searches, buddy.
And if you want to volunteer, if you want to become a volunteer.
Yes, you can actually go to our website. You can fill out information. You can volunteer for any event. We do vet our volunteers. It's extremely important that we have the right people there. But no, we would love to have anybody that wants to be involved with the community that we serve. We would love that. We would love that. The more, the better.
And I'll tell you from experience, it's a great thing. It's super fun. It can be a little intimidating at first, especially, and I hope you don't mind me saying, but when you sign up to be a volunteer, you have to go through the vetting process and go through a little education program, safety stuff.
Yep.
And everything. And it is like, you're like, oh my gosh, I have this responsibility.
Well, they're vulnerable.
But you have plenty of experienced volunteers that are also there helping guide you. So if you feel like doing something like this would help you, serve a purpose, there's no reason to not do it.
Phil, at the end of the day, if you volunteer for what we do, there's no doubt, in fact, there's no way you walk away not feeling like a better person.
You'll feel 100% like a better person.
What?
You're going to learn something about yourself that you never realized.
Correct. It's going to definitely shed a light on a lot of things. And you'll walk away being like, wow, I'm just so much better person from being here. Yeah. It's crazy, man. You'll cry a lot of tears. I do all the time. And there are people like, why are you crying? I'm like, because I'm happy. They're like, I'm like, seriously, I can't help it. I mean, I cry all the time. I do. I cry all the time. And it's only because I'm happy. I'm never sad about it. I'm happy to be around every single person that I serve and their families. And when they do something extraordinary, it brings tears to my eyes. When I see things they do, it brings tears to my eyes. When I just see them, sometimes it just brings tears to my eyes. Why? Because I'm happy.
Yeah, man.
I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so many people think that as they age, that's like impossible.
No.
Or they feel like I don't know if people give up on it or, something that I see a lot of, I hate to extend this out, but like this very much bothers me. They're like, I'm 34, right? I feel young. Sometimes I feel old.
You are young.
But, yeah,
34.
But I talk to someone, they're like, just wait till you're 40. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I remember being in my 20s, like, wait till you're my age.
Yeah,
That's one thing that I cannot stand. Yeah, there
mean?
are things for sure that are harder now compared to when I was 24. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
But like just to expect like for my life to degrade just because I get older or for my life to get worse just because I get older, 100%
100% choice. 100% choice. You life's about two things. Choices and circumstances. That's it. And so you can make a great choice and it could be a bad circumstance. You can make a great choice. It could still be a bad circumstance. I mean, sometimes you don't know. It's smoke screened out a certain way. But if you make more good choices than bad choices, life's going to be pretty much okay. So life's real simple, but a lot of us sometimes, we we make it bigger than it really is a lot of times.
Same thing.
Same thing with working out.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple.
Right.
Keep it at that. Well, dude, super appreciate your time. Dash,
Absolutely.
Tim, whatever.
No, thanks for all those names.
Yeah, right.
No, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man.
I've been excited to do this with you for a minute.
Yeah, super appreciate it.
Sean,
Guys,
thanks for being such a great mediator.
No, thank you. No, thank you. I was just listening, just taking my notes, and I had a couple questions as
go
well.
ahead. Shoot for it.
So, one of them was just okay. So you first get the suit, you first get the costume, and you're like, I'm about to hit the streets, and I'm going to start door dashing with this costume on.
Yeah.
Could you kind of walk me through like the first couple of interactions with people and like how you felt walking up, how they reacted to you?
Yeah,
did you have any sort of like hey, I'm here, you know, don't worry, your food's here. I did like the catchphrase or what?
That's
like,
a great question, dude. I was pretty jacked up. If there was ever a time I felt like, and I don't drink these, but I drank like 40 Red Bulls in like 30 minutes. This was the time. I mean, the first video I did was to the song "Jump Around" in the suit. I mean, I was ready to go. I think it was for most of the organizations or the restaurants that I walked in, I think it was shock.
Yeah.
They're like, they would look at me like, what is going on right now? Or they would laugh. Or if it was younger, like high school students and stuff, they would get a little embarrassed, you know, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm, and you know, and we're taking pictures and stuff like that. When I walked into Pomodoro's that night in League City.
That was your first one?
That was probably my fourth DoorDash.
Okay.
I walked in to pick up an order and it was packed.
Okay.
And I walked inside and I had to wait like 15 minutes for the order. I created bedlam in there.
I was gonna say, I just love the image of like the DoorDasher standing there, like in the, like just on his phone waiting. He's wearing like a flash costume.
They're like, what is going on right now? And I'm picking up DoorDash, and I mean, everybody wanted to take a picture with me. I could take a picture with my kid. Take a picture with me. Come over here. They were like, can you get this guy's order and get him out of here? Because everybody was standing, nobody was eating. They're all walking around. I mean,
backing up operations.
Yeah,
the
right.
place was crazy, and then. The last place I went into was Tuscany Bistro, right there next to Randall's. And unbeknownst to me, as I'm in there, there's a guy that I do know. And I didn't know I knew. I'm waiting for the DoorDash in my costume, and he's videoing me, and he's going, guess who just stopped in? It's Dash Gordon from DoorDash. And he's doing this whole video, right? And then he puts it out on Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy like videoed me, but it was like so cool.
Yeah.
But man, it was incredible. People couldn't wait to meet me.
I
had on the side of my car, Dash Gordon on board. I had my windows down. I was, blaring Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber.
So everyone was cool. Was there anybody that was like, oh, what's going on? Like, what?
No, everybody was
cool
pretty happy to see me.
Really?
Yeah. Even if I was door dashing and they were walking out of another place I wasn't dashing in, oh my gosh, can we take a picture with it? Oh, this is like so cool. Oh my gosh, I love it. Was wild. Kids were screaming out their windows as I was driving through the city. It was wild, dude. I mean, it was a wild thing.
That's awesome. I love that. I was just thinking about like I have people that walk into my apartment all the time, like door dashing, and I was like, dude, that'd be so funny to see.
Well, I could send them a picture. Like before I would pick up the DoorDash, I would be like, I'd snapshot and then I'd send it through the app. I'm on my way, Dash Gordon. And then they would go, oh my gosh, I came to the door because I had to see, is this real? Yeah. And here you are. It was really, if I did 10 DoorDashes, if all 10 said leave at the door, 9 came to the door.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And there were some nights everybody came to the door.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Sometimes people were waiting on their porch, just like with their whole family. They had the kids out. There they go. We're here to meet you. I called the uncles, the aunts. They'll be here in just a few minutes. I mean, it was wild, dude.
Dude, that's awesome.
It was wild.
I love that.
It was a crazy scenario. It was a crazy scenario.
Dude, that's amazing. So I guess like another question I had was just like work-life balance between just everything. So you have a full-time job. You've been working there. You like it. You have a lot of operations that you have to do there because you're training people. So I would sure that it's a pretty like involved job.
It is.
And then it's like, okay, now this DoorDash thing is picking up because I want to take my wife to the Bahamas. So that is a lot of work there.
Yep.
And then, you want to start the foundation. At one point, all of these, I would imagine it felt like you had a lot of plates in the air, like how did you
I kind of feel like that
balance
guy
all
that spins the plates.
Yeah.
I'm walking the tightrope holding the bar, like which way do you go?
Yeah.
I don't think that balance ever existed. I think that I just went with it and I just did whatever. And if it meant missing 2 extra hours of sleep to get accomplished what I need to get accomplished, I had to do it.
So you just sacrifice.
You just
sleep.
do.
Yeah.
You just. I think you just do. You don't second guess it. It doesn't even. You don't even think about that. You're like, okay, I'll be there. Well, I know, but you've already been. No, I got you. I'll be there. It's
Yeah,
no
this
big deal.
work-life balance thing is like so crazy to me. You just do what needs to be done.
Just do it. And
Yeah.
it may be a little bit extra. You may lose a little bit of sleep. You'll regain it somewhere else. Don't worry about it. Just do it, man. And great slogan for Nike. And I think that's why, they've sustained is that's just do it. And I think if we all approach it the same, just do it.
Yeah.
Just give it a shot. Just try it, do it, whatever you got to do, but just make it happen.
Yeah. What did some of your friends think? I'm like thinking all these scenarios where I'm wearing like a superhero suit now, and it's like, hey, Sean, show up to the bar, and it's like I'm like rocking like a Black Panther suit. I'm like, hey, yo, what's up, guys? Let me
I can see that.
two
We
whiskey
might,
coats.
we might have to do that together, Sean. So,
I'm a Spider-Man fan.
I love Spider-Man.
A huge Spider-Man fan.
I
I would
love Spider-Man,
definitely-
but the Flash has always been my favorite character. I don't know that. I don't really know what my friend. I have a very small circle.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean, I'm the firm believer that when you die, if you can count 5 friends on your hand, you're pretty fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
And here's how you really know how you have a friend. Tell them you're moving and you need help.
Oh, yeah.
And the ones that don't show up are not your friends. So go ahead and limit. So anyway, yeah, that's kind of
100%.
how I look at it. You're moving
Yeah.
and they show up. These are your friends.
Yeah.
I have such a small circle, so I don't think there was really too many people that were in tune
Okay.
to what I was doing.
Cool.
So I've built my friendships now with families and people that I've met now locally more than I've ever had friends in my life. I have lifetime friends, but I think they thought it was a little bit weird. Like, why is he doing this? He has a full-time job. Why is this guy running around in a costume?
Yeah.
But they never expressed it. You know,
Nice.
they supported it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice. Well, yeah, that's basically all I have, man. Thank you so much. I mean, what you're doing is super admirable. I didn't know it went that deep. And so, like, yeah, I mean, a lot of it, it's like sometimes I'll interject a little bit more and kind of like throw in little jokes here and there. But no, I was just like locked in. I was like, dude, that's amazing. I didn't know that your foundation did so much. Like my mom, she used to do a lot of work with not particularly like special needs, but she would work in like home health scenarios, working like halfway homes and help them there and stuff like that. And sometimes we did. Like I did have interactions growing up with like special needs people and things like that, like just going to work with her and stuff like that, and that was something she was really passionate about. So yeah, I love to hear that, and that's
It's
cool.
fun stuff, man.
It's cool, man.
There's no group of people I'd rather hang out with more than the community that I serve. Man, it's just so cool.
That's
it's
awesome.
just so cool. It just you to do it every single day. It's just cool, man. It's the best. There's nothing that. I mean, I can't even think of anything that would ever be better than this.
I love it.
Winning the Powerball. I mean, it would help me fund the Dashboard.
Yeah.
But it would never be able. There's nothing that's going to be able to supplement what I do ever to make me as happy as I have been these past 3 years. There's just nothing.
Well, guys, if y'all want to feel that same way, sign up to be a volunteer.
Come on.
I'm telling you, it'll change your life. So
It will.
make sure you do that. Fill out the dashgordon.com.
Yeah,
like
just
you
go to
said.
that. Just go to dashgordon. I think is it Dash Gordon? It's dash. It's dash. I think it's .org.
Just Google
Dashgordon.org.
Dash Gordon, and you'll
That's all you got to do, Phil.
Yeah.
Keep it simple,
You'll
Phil.
find
Keep it
Yes,
simple.
There we go.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you need help with anything, let us know. We're here for you. See you guys.